Howdy, Heroes Hearth. This is Kyle Fergusson from Into the Nexus podcast, and I'm here to announce that it's the perfect time to learn Ragnaros. It's Blast Wave season, and there's no better training wheels for the fire macro machine than Blast Wave build. And not only is it the winniest talents at the moment, it's also the most popular, which means you can learn Ragnaros during a time when not only is he the easiest to play, but people are going to be accepting of the easiest build to play. Now, of course, our goal will be to transition to a more impactful build, one full of decisiveness and strong choices that we can use to win the game with rather than just stall or soak with. But for now, there's nothing wrong with Blast Wave. And even if you're experienced at Heroes of the Storm or experienced with bruisers in the solo lane, you're gonna have a really hard time learning Ragnaros because of his huge lack of mobility and CC. Blast Wave build allows you to learn Ragnaros at a pace that matches some of our other more dynamic bruisers. Let's take a look at Blast Wave here. Ignite Ragnaros or an ally, granting them 25% movement speed for 1.5 seconds before exploding and dealing damage. Ragnaros has a fabulous auto attack. It is big, it is meaty, it's a huge part of his kit that we'll get into later. His auto attack, though, is extremely slow. In fact, he's attacking slower than Deckard Cain. So when you're trying to connect with your enemy, they're going to be moving around. And without a teleport or any sort of stun or CC or even a slow, you are entirely reliant on landing those auto attacks. And Blast Wave, is going to help you reach those targets in time before they move and get away from you. Ragnaros is all about choices, and you're going to have to make very strong and very precise choices in order to play him well. But for now, let's just run through the Blast Wave build. Engulfing Flame increases the damage and radius. If you have bigger radius, the more likely you are to hit. Well, that comes into play because now we're going to be able to slow enemies by 40%. If we're moving faster and they're moving slower, we're able to catch up and deliver those meaty auto attacks we require. At 7, Molten Power is in style right now, and I kind of like it for the training wheels aspect of Ragnaros because it means you're going to use Living Meteor in an effective way. You're going to get this nice little Molten Power symbol down here. Each enemy hero hit by Living Meteor increases the damage of the next Living Meteor by 20%. So if I can hit at least 3 heroes, you'll see in the bottom left that I now have 3 stacks, 60% bonus damage on my next Living Meteor. Ragnaros mains out there, keep calm. We're going to go into why we're going to transition out of this build later. Training wheels, after all, you don't have them forever. If you're running into the thick of it, there's nothing wrong with blistering attacks. Every 10 seconds, Ragnaros' next basic attack against heroes deals 60% bonus damage. Hitting enemies with basic abilities reduces this cooldown. Hey, remember at level 1 when we increased the radius of our Blast Wave? Well, now we can hit heroes with basic abilities more often and reduce that cooldown. It's not the biggest notification in the world, but you can see it down in the bottom left. And as we hit more abilities, that cooldown will jump, and our Q and our W work into that as well. Let's speed on past level 10 for the moment. Tempered Flame allows you to have a shield equal to 100% of the damage dealt for 3 seconds. And finally, Blast Echo gives Ragnaros himself an additional Blast Wave. This is very, very powerful for getting into position as Rag, particularly if you are pursuing, because you're going to get those 2 waves of that 25% movement speed. As you practice this build, think about how you can help allies more often. The next thing we need to talk about is Empower Sulfuras. Ragnaros' next basic attack is instant, dealing damage, ability damage and a large amount of it, and heals for 20% of the damage dealt, healing doubled versus heroes. Ragnaros has a very, very slow auto attack, so we need to take that extra second to make sure when we go in, because it's going to be instant, to land that auto attack, hit Q, and then get that next auto attack out. This is a huge part of your damage. You are going to miss out on half your damage if you go chasing people with Q already activated. Not to mention you look silly. This looks silly. You're glowing, you're chasing, what are you doing? So you've got yourself a nice calm build now. We need to acknowledge that that is the easy version. We are transitioning to a more advanced Ragnaros. And in time, you're going to want to take Sulfurous Hungers. Every time Empower Sulfurous kills a minion, its damage is increased by 1, up to 30. After killing 30 minions, increase its damage by an additional 90. As we saw on our Q, we heal based on the damage we deal. And Q talents are going to make this a lot more outrageous as we go. So let's talk about how to properly clear a lane. And you can practice this while you enjoy a nice Blast Wave build, and you don't feel stressed or seduced off to a lane in the middle of a team fight. We use our principle with the rolling ball to hit those archers, bruise them up. 1, 2 for you, 2 for this archer, and 2 on this archer. And then we get nice in the middle and give it a slam, and clear it out. We got that orb, and we accomplished getting 4 stacks very quickly, maybe a 5th. Now let's talk about the particulars of Lava Wave. Lava Wave releases a wave from Ragnaros' core, your core, the one on your side, that travels down the targeted lane, dealing damage per second to non-structure enemies in its path, and instantly killing enemy minions. The last statement there I want you to ignore. If you are using Lava Wave for hero damage, it's either a particular of your league, or you're trying to defend your core because you're losing, and Lava Wave's not doing the right job in the first place. Since our XP orb change, there is some hidden text here that basically says, if Lava Wave gets the killing blow, as with all spells, you collect those orbs. Targeting the lane, the Lava Wave instantly kills all minions and gives you that XP. This deals decent damage, but doesn't kill mercenaries outright, though of course getting rid of their entire backup lane and any catapults behind them will usually cause the lane to collapse in your favor. Now there isn't a set of absolute rules for using Lava Wave. Every situation, every map is going to be different. It's nice to prep a lane for an objective that spawns in the lane. It's nice to use it repeatedly in one lane to make sure you always have pressure that lane pushed out, so you can get a victory after a team wipe. What we do know for sure with Lava Wave is that you will get bonus XP for your team equal to that additional wave if you use your Lava Wave right after the 15-second mark or the 45-second mark. This is when the minions spawn and start making their way onto the map. By using it right around 20 seconds or 50 seconds, you guarantee that additional wave of XP for your team. Let's get into the other big choice ability, Molten Core. Channel on an allied or destroyed fort or keep and replace it with Ragnaros' ultimate form, temporarily gaining new abilities and having health that burns away over 18 seconds. That health is your time. You are in this form for 18 seconds, and your damage is so high, your poke is so extreme, that we want that whole 18 seconds. The misleading thing about it is that your Q becomes this awesome swing, and for the first time in your kit, you have a 1-second stun. That feels really good. The problem is, you're way more powerful at poking. Time is life. Life is time. And we want to have as much time as possible, do as much damage as we can. These abilities deal 25% bonus damage to minions, mercenaries, and monsters. This is the real power. We don't wait to jump into Molten Core until they're already through the wall. We want to be poking the objective when it's by the wall. We want to be helping out on the objective far away. And how far away? Well, unless you're a cheater with a ultra-wide monitor, you can put the building you plan to jump into in the corner of your screen, and you know you can reach the other corner of your screen. Not all forts are able to reach their nearby objectives. So when should you Molten Core? Again, it's about choices. There's not a set playbook. You should poke objectives as they walk towards the core in range. Burn them down as they advance. You're dealing 25% bonus damage after all. You should Molten Core if you are under attack in range of a fort, so you disappear, no longer exist on the battlefield, and hopefully your allies can clear them out by the time you're done. Should you Molten Core on cooldown? Not necessarily. A better time to Molten Core would be to engage in a fight, get to low health, grab your well, and then jump in the Molten Core while you're healing, continuing to rain on the objective and aiding your allies from afar. Now regenerated, out of the core, go join again. And one more note on Molten Core here, you will always emerge wherever you channeled in. So it's a good idea, particularly if you're running away and being pursued, to get to the far side, the safe side of the building you're going to take over, then jump into the core, use your abilities, just so you're not as exposed when you pop out. If you're new to Ragnaros, like, subscribe, ring that bell now, stop this video, and come back later. We're going to talk about transitioning to the more advanced, impactful play of a full Q build. We talked about how to get those stacks done. As you clear the lanes effectively, you're going to collect a globe. And after 15 globes, you're going to activate Catching Fire. Catching Fire gives you health regeneration, and that's nice in the background, but it's more about this button for 25 armor for 3 seconds. After all, you're rather immobile. For both of these quests, you will be seduced off to objectives and joining team fights and being a good teammate. Preferably you're done by level 10, but we can give you some wiggle room, but you have to get these 2 done. They're going to become a huge part of your kit later on. Level 7, Hand of Ragnaros. If Empower Sulfuras hits at least 2 enemy heroes, restore 10 mana, sure, fine. Its cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds. This cuts your cooldown in half, and is what allows you to do repeat damage and keep yourself alive in a team fight. Taking that to 2 seconds, knowing you hit 2 heroes, properly positioning, making good choices, means you're going to have huge healing output and huge amounts of damage into the enemy front line. You're going to have to develop an eye for stacking enemy front lines in order to pull this off. Level 13, Cauterize Wounds. Empower Sulfuras heals for an additional 40% of the damage dealt to heroes over 2 seconds. Climaxing in Giant Scorcher, Empower Sulfuras burns enemy heroes for 9% of their max health over 3 seconds. Does not heal Ragnaros, doesn't matter, we're healing plenty right now, and we have 25 armor for it. Lava Wave is king of macro. It's king of soak. Lava Wave is going to take you from bronze to gold. But as you get into platinum and things become more draft dependent, more team fight dependent, Lava Wave can start to lose its edge. Heroes stop standing in the Lava Wave. They become more aware players. Sulfurous Smash gives you deletes. It gives you massive damage to delete an enemy backline, to change a frontline fight in your favor with a huge interrupt. 0.5 seconds is not going to help you recover the lack of CC that Ragnaros has, but it will stop Sonya from spinning and is very easy to aim on things that stand still, like a mosh pitting ETC. With your mount up engage, the auto attack, the immediate slam, and the R, you just did 1,815 damage at level 10. Once the enemy is deleted, everyone can go soak. And plat players are okay at macro. If there's nothing to fight, they will soak. But just like the comparison between Blast Wave and Q build, make the choice once you're in game. Make the choice at 10 whether you are going to help your team recover the amount of soak it's losing due to constant fights, or if you're ahead and want to be winning those constant fights so you can do other things. And before I end, just a quick note on our maps. I'm not concerned about solo lanes because our 2-lane maps are so bad for Ragnaros. Hanamura, Battlefield of Eternity, and Braxis Holdout just do not give opportunities for Ragnaros to perform well. Braxis Holdout in particular is a very, very difficult pile of choices for Ragnaros to make. Whether or not you're going to Molten Core the wave, or when they push in, if you're going to actually be able to participate in being on the pad, if you're going to be back in Molten Core form, if you're going to Lava Wave when you're overwhelmed by mercenary camps or a boss, that is a very, very advanced map for Ragnaros. You're going to have a much easier time making these binary choices about which lanes to clear and where to stack in places like Sky Temple, Volskaya, Alterac Pass, and Cursed Hollow. Some say Tomb of the Spider Queen is a trap because you'll make gems that no one's going to collect with Lava Wave. Well, you now know a different heroic that doesn't get rid of gems. That is about winning team fights. Deleting people, stealing their gems, taking them away. With Sulfurous Smash. For all of you advanced Ragnaros players who stuck around, I was Kyle Fergusson. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell on your way out. Look forward to more. learn to play Heroes videos in the future. Thanks for watching.